Frog is there just north of Dublin Tavern. And the driveway,
In the parking
that's about
lot.
where I was born. Tout Smiley. We don't have anything after.
Don Ashbaugh,
Yeah,
Jim Abbott.
15 gallons of gas.
Look at that.
$2.64 for 15 gallons of gas. I don't know why that person's up there like that.
Charles Plummer.
I don't know.
I don't know which one that, I don't
Is
either.
that the one that on Brand Road that the boy had a speech impediment?
No, you're thinking of Bobby.
Yeah, but his dad is what I was saying. I don't know what his dad's name was.
I think Charles, would he live in Bonnie Hill?
You know the dollar for the run? That's what it made when I went on Department 55.
Huh. $1 for the first hour and 50 cents after that?
No, the squad runs were strictly dollar, period. And the fire was $1.50 first hour, that's right, and then $1 for each hour afterwards.
Okay. Yeah,
So
what
it
I'm
didn't
seeing
pay
here
to miss work.
I'm seeing here it's $1 for the first hour and then 50 cents for every hour after.
Is that what it is?
That's
See, I
what they
don't
were.
remember when they arranged it to do. I forgot about that. 10 gas, $1.75.
Looking through the 1938 folder.
This is it. Oh.
Yeah. No, I'm saying it just so when I look at the video
That's
later, I
whose
can.
name the property was, is what those names up
Yeah.
there top were. I didn't know Bonnell lived on Hard Road.
Well, I didn't either.
Schreiber Smith, or maybe just owned property there. That's something, $10 worth of gas. That's the best part, really.
But you see, there's never more than 7.
Now,
Yeah, there's only a few times that there was maybe 8.
2 shovels, $3.75. Cost more than the gas did. Jim Wright. Oh, I didn't know he was on the department.
Who is it?
Jim's Wright, and they lived down on South High Street, across from Jim Smith, around down in that area.
That doesn't ring a bell at all. Arthur Plummer.
Tell me about the plumbers.
That's Bobby's dad.
They were basically well drillers.
Yeah.
They also had what I would call, and we referred to it in those days as a beer joint, a bar, where the L-shaped building is there on High Street at the first alley, where the parking lot's out in front, which, by the way, led to the Architectural Review Board in Dublin, because nobody liked that building, and nobody today likes that building. But anyhow, they had a little beer joint there. I've got, the Historical Society's got 2 or 3 pictures of them. They had kind of a band. One of them lived on Brand Road, one of them lived North Riverview, one of them lived in Shawnee Hills, South High Street. One of them lived on Summit View. There must have been at least 5 in one family. And of course there were cousins and things like that. Many of them belonged to the fire department at one time or another.
Sometime in 38's when they went from $1 to $1.50 on the first hour.
Those pictures of them are in that Columbus Library thing that you were talking about. There's pictures of them in
I found
there.
that because
You did, because-
one of our firefighters knows a descendant of the Plummer family.
Yeah.
And he said that he was looking for pictures, and I found quite a few, but I didn't know.
There's a granddaughter that sent me some of that stuff, and I had it put in the Historical Society thing. I think she lives in Galena, but I can't think of her last name.
Oh man, we're really getting busy here.
It was a good family. It was a good family. Probably any well that was drilled in Dublin was drilled by one of the plumbers.
Or then Bouchon drilled something like that.
Yeah.
Especially when they lived there. But most of them was plumber.
One of them,
When I moved back to take a job as fire chief, Well, plumbers drilled the well on Skyline.
Yeah, they drilled our well on Braxmar.
The,
Everly Treasure. Treasure.
Eli?
Yeah.
so I
Oh,
am,
I wanted to tell you a story about this one.
Yes, sir.
And how the Ford came about.
uh-huh,
They was on a grass fire down off Lane Road. That was about 2 houses on Lane Road, farms. And they were in this, and of course, it's a midship. And the fire came at them and actually jumped over the top of the Rio. And they dove underneath it, 3 of them. And that's when they went to old Harry Sutphen, who's down on Dublin Road, says, we need an engine that we can mobile to fight grass fires with. And they went to a convention, 40 or 41, and he met them. It was the first front mount pump for firefighting. And they said, here's your engine, boys, go out and show them how to use it. They had no idea how to use it. They'd never seen it before. So the Ford was actually the second one built. It was a 40 chassis, and they got it delivered in 41.
second one nationwide or second one from Sutton?
Well, they'd never had one before, as far as I know, so I always assumed it was the first. I know it was the first one in the state,
Very cool.
at least.
I was actually reading in,
And of course, they're restricted on, you don't fight too many 2.5 inch fires with the front mount.
yeah, I was reading the run reports from 41, 42, something like that. It must have been a very dry summer, because here you see the spotted grass fire and all that, but like 1941 there was 20 of them, and they were all
Where River Forest is
Oh,
today,
boy.
there was one that just ran for days.
oh, really?
They couldn't get it under control.
Huh.
I think it was one of the first mutual aid fires. Because up until that time, you went to the township line and stopped. And there's even cases of them letting the fire burn, whether it was a city or a township or
That's right,
whatever.
because they
But they
would've
go to
been-
the township line and stop.
Part of it would
And-
have been in Delaware County, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and shit, and that kind of brought out the eventual of the grass fighters.
But I don't have any idea when that
Back to
was.
Purley's there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Daddy went up and came back, and went back up the next day or something.
Yeah,
So, go ahead.
probably went up after work,
Yeah.
Put
or
some of
maybe
this
came home.
confused here.
Thanks for showing me that.
Yeah, there's,
Sure don't remember doing it.
Don't you really? Well, the typing was so perfect. You must have had somebody do that for
No, I
you.
typed it. That's the best class I ever took in high school, was typing. We wasn't supposed to have it. A bunch of us in the college prep courses, you didn't get typing. It was in the business side. So we had to take it extra. And it was the best class I ever took when I got in college.
typing.
Yeah. And I remember I broke this finger my senior year, and I broke this finger when we was cutting logs, firewood to sell for our class trip.
Yeah.
And somebody got smart and brought a log back when we was passing them along and broke that finger. And I had to type with that finger. I had a horrible time, I guess, if I can remember. Isn't that funny how you remember some little thing like that? And then Doc Carr fell it one day. Mom said something to him. He said, well, you broke this finger. Was it ever set? No, so he tried to re-break it. Picked me right up off the chair. About the third time, he says, I guess I'm not gonna. And I said, good.
So this was a popular picture of the
Yeah.
7 of the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
That's the
it-
old schoolhouse.
That's what
Yeah.
has
Little
always led to believe that there were 7 originals.
Exactly.
But I think that stuff that you got shows
Yeah,
that
there
there
were
were
more. Just
21.
They only paid for 7.
And as we talked about, they had 6 coats other than the chief, and whoever got there first, if they went to the trucks, of course, they had to go to the trucks to find out where the fire was.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. You know I'm in that, don't you?
Bottom left. About when was that? And do you remember that day at all?
Well,
I
The,
remember a little bit about
the
it.
firehouse is there in 44.
There isn't a bubble gum machine on top of the fort, yet it's got a spotlight up there. So,
Well, you can't be much more than 7, I wouldn't
I don't
think.
think we're that old.
So it's gotta, well, no, it gotta be 44.
Oh, that's right.
Because they dedicated the firehouse in
45.
June 10th, 45.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that may have been taken for that purpose. Jim Moffett in a suit. I don't think that's the only time I ever saw him in a suit.
They had
He was
this.
the guy that ran the
they had-
movie projector at Old Riverside Drive-In Theater.
Far right.
Louis Thompson.
No, Louis Thompson's
Right here.
right there. That's Ralph Beery. And on the ID had his name different. And that had Edgar Eager, and that's Pete.
I've seen Pete corrected a number of times. So
Yeah.
And that looks like a model, and I'm not sure when that was taken or.
Well, I would say when they sold it, I'd say it was when Seagate, because they always did that.
Okay.
Every engine they sold. they
Oh,
would put-
Seagate.
See the number down below? That's the number of engines they've made, or fire apparatus. And they always took a picture like that, because all Columbuses had that is on them.
Huh. It was a memorial picture basically before they sent it out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I brought you.
I've got
The day
There's
I
a,
picked up the first, the first full engine that they ever had. We had cab, the personnel could ride in the cab behind the driver. Before that, the always rode on the back.